Dear friends, thank you for joining us today. My name is Darya and I'm a Regional Development Manager for Africa at Gurtam. During these 3 weeks, we have held 6 Gurtam meetups, which gathered the total audience of 600 attendees. We decided to adjust some changes to the format of our meetup. Today, we are having not only our partners among the experts, but also a Gurtam representative, which will shed light on how Gurtam copes with the current situation. Let me introduce our panelists, Mr. Zelalem Dagne from Zelalem Telematics Solutions, a citizen of the world, as Zelalem lives in the United States and manages his operation in Ethiopia. We also have Ashraf Mukri from Afritrack, our esteemed partner from Tanzania. And the third panelist is Valeriya Zinkevich, Regional Development Manager for MENA region, Gurtam representative. During previous meetups, lots of questions were addressed to Gurtam. So we decided not to stand aside and participate in the discussion with our partners equally. We will discuss the regional particularities for Africa and MENA. However, we consider the experience of our regional partners will be relevant for all of us without depending on the country or region. So today we are having a panel discussion dedicated to a significant topic of how will the pandemic change opportunities for business development? What can the integrator influence proactively? Dear guests, please feel free to send your questions in the chat. We will try to address them during our conversation. And also please pay attention to the chat settings. Choose the settings to all panelists and attendees so everybody can see your messages. Thank you in advance. So colleagues, what were the first steps you took in response to the pandemic within your company? And by the way, it's also the question to all visitors in the chat. Please write from which country you are and what was the first step your company made to COVID-19 times. Let us share the stories with one another. I will be glad to share the most interesting one at the end. Thank you in advance. So Zelalem, what was the first steps you made bearing in mind you are based, what was the first step you made, especially bearing in mind you are located in the United States and operate in Ethiopia?
Good morning, good afternoon. Thank you for the opportunity to speak about COVID-19. What we did is from the very beginning, we always have an emergency preparedness program, but this is very unique, affecting the whole world. So the first thing is maintaining the safety and the integrity of our team members, because they are the backbone of the company. So that was the primary focus, having them the necessary personal protection equipment in place, as well as the social distancing, working on their schedule. Further, we also communicate, reach out to all our esteemed customers, how best we can be able to serve them. So this type of initial communications really help us out to put together a roadmap as we move forward. But every day there is new challenges, but since we all working as a team, we also have what we call it is a self-directed work team within our operations. So each team member have a contribution to the plan. So we're moving forward.
Thank you, Zelalem, for highlighting this particular case. And Valerie, I think our audience would like to understand what was delivered by Gurtam and what were the main drivers behind Gurtam actions.
Thank you, Dasha. Hello, everyone. So there were 2 major parts we were thinking about, our team and our partners. Speaking about our team, Gurtam organized remote work of 200 Gurtam employees during 2 days. That's quite a tough task to be accomplished within such a limited period of time. However, it's not enough to send the whole team at home. Some people are feeling more or less okay working remotely. The others may be affected by the isolation. So we were thinking on how to establish effective and healthy communication between the members of the team, avoid the misunderstandings which may occur, and support those members who are having difficulties. So every morning we are launching Zoom calls with the whole International Business Development Center to share some interesting stories, to make fun and laugh, and as it was a part of our daily routine at the office. Our HR team is also working on a different online activities, such as online pub on a Friday night, remote quiz shows, and even online yoga classes. Speaking about the partners, Gurtam, being a global company and having partners all over the world, noticed the results of the pandemic at the same time with our partners. We were thinking of the measures we can take in order to help partners to sustain their businesses. This task was difficult as well. The measures were supposed to be unified for all the regions and countries. Something may work very well for Rwanda, but it won't work in Saudi Arabia. What is more, the measures were supposed to be implemented immediately. That's how we came up to the idea of granting a units freezing option for our partners. The possibility to freeze the units allows avoiding the charges for units that are not in use. At the same time, it helps our partners not to disconnect those clients who are not ready to pay right now, but to keep them on the system and sustain their business relations for the future. As once customer is disconnected, he's probably lost. And to get him back, you would need to sell him the services once again. Apart from that, FLESP team has developed an interactive map which takes data from wialon and allows to monitor average mileage in different countries. Why is it so important for us and for our partners? It's crucial to keep an eye on the situation, not to miss the critical changes in the global transportation. Despite the map, FLESP team decided to go further and create the COVID-19 IoT Alliance, which aims to pull together telematics and IoT companies in the face of COVID-19. If you want to join the alliance, please send a message to FLESP. I see that our marketing team is bombarding you with the links in the chat right now, so make sure to save them all. What is more, the necessity for personal tracking increases exponentially nowadays, so our mobile development team added the possibility of working with BLE tags in BIATAG. The meetup on this topic was held by my colleague Andrew last week. And very soon our mobile team will announce something very special, a new application for personal tracking. So stay tuned and check our weblog.
Thank you, Valerie. Ashraf, and what was your response to pandemic? Could you please continue here in a few words?
Thank you, Darya. A lot has already been highlighted by Zelalem and Valeriya. So in order of quickness, what I would say is for the Afritrack team, what we immediately had to work on is a COVID response plan. And the COVID response plan had three main pillars. One was to do protection and prevention, which is to avoid infections, but also precautions to strengthen immunity. And the most important thing is planning forward, what if scenarios. The effect that brought immediately to the organization was provided comfort to the staff, because they knew now there is a plan, that we are not just guided by words that are coming from everywhere. There is a plan and we have a process against it, and all the what if scenarios have been communicated, and also the staff contributed in building the plan, which was the most effective part of it. It then also provided confidence to the customers. Immediately after the plan was out, we built a Corona response committee, and the committee's job was now to keep updates, take all the updates, and be the communication channel for the customers and for the internal team. And immediately now, people are not confused. They are directed. They know exactly who to go and ask, and they are guided against everything as noise that is coming from outside. So we circulated information to our customers on the continuity, so they know where the customer service levels are, the continuity of service, but also what measures we are taking, which was very pivotal and paramount for them to know that we are taking care of our techs and our teams. So as they visit them, we have to understand in Tanzania, we are not ready on code red. So we still have some movements that are happening. So how are we confining ourselves, and how are we preparing our staff for that. Some of the things that Zelalem also spoke about, we put in COVID kits for all our teams. So our teams have sanitizers and the needful wipe down procedures for technicians whenever they're working on trucks, because we do a lot of work on cars and trucks moving on cross borders. So before they start their work, they wipe them down properly just to disinfect them. Then practicing social distancing. We had to take a good amount of team to work from home, and anybody who we could manage that they can work online, they were pushed to start working from home to minimize movements and foot traffic in the office. The tech team, which was the mission critical team for installations, we couldn't have them working from home. So then we put them on rotation. And whoever is coming to the office is on social distancing, basically in sitting spaces. So people are hopping chairs and limiting spaces. We went with a town hall meeting, and I'll talk about it more on best practices on that, but we also emphasized on the use of technical support teams. So outsource technical partners for installations and supports. Now we are not able to move within the region. So the best way we can help our customers is to have outsourced partners who are locally available and closer to them. So still putting continuity and service delivery. And the last thing was about the sales funnel. We just found out that whatever budgets and the product mix that we're looking at are not going to be the ones that we will get in the next 3 to 6 months or 9 months. So we had to focus onto upcoming trends and start looking at where is the business shifting, and reclassify our sales funnel. So those are a few things that we have implemented on the development processes in fighting the pandemic.
Thank you, Ashraf. Thank you for your input. And just to mention, currently we have 49 participants in our chat. Thank you for joining us. It's amazing. Also, as far as I can see from the chat, our partners also, like, the main priority, like the first step was to take the social distance, to working from home, and to think how we could replan our work to be more effective. Thank you, West Africa. To proceed, business resources are those bricks which help us to build business. So what are your essential resources now? What to keep and what to sacrifice? I'm just asking this question as we have heard. Some of our partners were forced to take, let's say, not very popular decisions, like fire employees, cut off salaries in order to cut the costs. At the same time, for other partners, the situation in their country is a bit more stable and allows them to keep their staff and their salaries at the same level. What's your opinion? In the meantime, our experts will answer this question. I would appreciate if our visitors in the chat can also share their opinion on the very same topic. So what resources did you keep and what resources were you forced to sacrifice? Valerie, would you like to be the first one?
Yeah, sure. No matter how tough it may be for the company, we decided not to cut off the staff, as all the employee matters for us, starting from the office manager and up to the software developer. Still, we do have teams whose workload decreased somehow. Let's take our marketing team as an example. We have both offline and online marketing divisions, while the workload of the offline team is decreasing due to the cancellation of the major exhibitions all over the world. The overload of the offline team is obvious. We decided to reorganize their duties inside the team to achieve a balance. Currently, the offline division is assisting online marketing team with webinars, meetups, and all the online activities. We also decided to reconsider the format of our annual Telematics conference. For those who had visited it at least once, our sacrifice is evident, and I personally took this sacrifice very close to my heart. However, one door closes, the other opens. We came up to the idea of having the online meetups, which are gathering the total audience bigger than Telematics itself. We also tried to understand what teams apart from business development and marketing can react quickly to the changing environment. The FLSP teams, PACE team, and mobile development team were those. I've already highlighted their valuable input. Of course, you need to be very careful making these changes as the crisis will be over, and I believe we all have long-term strategic priorities and commitments which we must deliver regardless of the crisis. For example, the stability of wialon hosting is always a priority, to beat crisis or not. Speaking from the business perspective, we also noticed the decrease in the number of incoming requests, and it gives us a good chance to work even more closely with our existing partners. I suppose that is something our partners are doing right now as well. That is why we're discussing unit freezing options via tech-related projects and migration offers, which are currently on top with our partners.
Thank you, Valeriya. Thank you for your input. Ashraf, did you move the accent from one resource to another? What resources did you decide to sacrifice and what to retain?
So at Afritrack, we haven't sacrificed any team members per se, but we have changed the way we are working. And while writing my notes for this session, a point that I would like to bring forward is things that we would like to keep is lean operating procedures that we have adapted during this pandemic time. And the highlight out of all the other processes that we have done is the outsourced installation and support partner buildup. So I'm seeing that that has really helped us. We already had a few partners involved from before, and significantly we have seen the necessity and the urge of using them. And now that is something definitely we'll keep retaining. In terms of letting go, of course, there are a number of measures that we have taken, and these are more to do with cutting down costs, being more lean on the financial spending. But in terms of the team, it's very difficult for a high-tech company to lose their team members who you have come through from a long time. There's a lot of experience built up around it. So it's not a very easy decision. And at Afritrack, we have retained to remain as a team. We are not seeing it cutting down people for now. Of course, eliminating what we can. That was one. And on the other side is the other practice that we have seen bearing fruits for us, and we would like to keep it going forward, is the remote working practice. During this time, we were pushed against the wall towards digital transformation. We had to adapt online collaboration tools. And that meant sales team to start doing telesales, online support team to start supporting customers online, trainings to be done online. And we were never been doing that with all the customers. So everybody was adapted of going to one-on-one with the customers. So it was a bit of a toll. People had to change the mindset, had to start learning a bit more. So that's something else we would like to really keep. And also connecting with our customers. We've been always connecting with our customers, having relationship calls. But this pandemic moment, and especially rolling out this continuity plan against the pandemic, meant connecting with the customers on a compassionate level, because everybody is hurting. As much as we can assist and help in that, you can see the feeling coming back forwards from the customers. They're really appreciating that. And that call is more important than any monetary value. It builds the partnership, it builds the community feeling. Just proactively being able to provide with a relief plan, it just makes the customers appreciate it, and they don't dictate the plan to you. It's just like what Gurtam did. So we took the same example, pushed it forward, and it's something we're looking forward to continue and retain on that. So these are a few things, yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. So in general, it's like to stay in touch with your customers, it's the remote work for your employees, and the decision not to fire employees that you are comfortable to work with. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Darya.
And Zelalem, how did your company reorganize its work?
Thank you for the opportunity. As I mentioned, I did not predict ahead, COVID-19 will be the way it is right now, but it was our goal because I have one of the best assets for our operation that we have is as a business. We have a very highly young, highly educated and talented workforce that I put together over the years. The first thing is I told everybody I'm going to back them up 100% to keep them employed while we are going through that. But as I mentioned, the team also from the very beginning, it's a self-directed work team. That means they're assigned, they're responsible to specific key customers. So they basically own the process. I do have a general manager in Ethiopia, but at this stage, given the situation, I also took over that direct management so I can be able to assist them in real time. But at the end of the day, their safety and as well as also the overall existence of the company is quite paramount for us. So I want to make sure also the families are taken care of, their safety. In fact, the situation in Ethiopia is a little different because of social distancing and other restrictions. There is also state of emergency. Actually, the state of emergency will last more than maybe 3 to 5 months now. It's already in place. But the movements of trucks are not really that limited, but they are also paying attention. There is adequate control by the government in terms of the movements and make sure the sanitation process and the washing techniques and all that in place. So the workforce is, in fact, is a lot more busier than my expectation now. They're calling their potential customers using the social distancing, as well as also being remote, developing some potential opportunities down on the road. So overall, everybody's very busy. And but at the end of the day, I told them, regardless of what the outcome will be, I will be with them 100% to support them with my ability. So that really means a lot. And then they're responding positively. So we're not suffering anything. Actually, we are taking this opportunity to tap into new markets, new opportunity using wialon. So I think this might be a growth opportunity for us also. And I'm even downsizing in the future, the office size we have, because from the remote workforce that I see, why we need even a bigger office the way we have now. So this is, an intended consequence of opportunities.
Thank you very much for sharing your experience. We all know that business is developing according to certain trends, which in most cases are set by the government. So what trends do you see in your region country? Dear guests, please don't hesitate to share your opinion as well in the chat. Valeriya, please let me pass the virtual microphone to you.
Thank you, Dasha. So answering this question, I will probably focus on the MENA region. There are countries with more or less stable economies and countries which have passed through a number of civil wars, lockdowns, natural disasters, economic crises, and devaluations. Recently, I had a talk with one of my partners. I won't disclose his name as it was quite a private talk. However, I asked him, how do you manage to bear all these things and to develop the business at the very same time? And the answer was, Valeriya, I've been in this business for quite some time and I'm kind of used to it. It's not our first crisis and definitely it's not going to be the last one. And I already have an idea on how to deal with these things. Usually in the short run, crisis takes a strong hit and the measures applied by the government may be tough. Yet in the longer run, it helps the economy. If we're doing our homework properly, we become more competitive. That allows us to boost the business in the longer run. So the only question here is, how do we face this in the short run? To be more precise, the tendency with the MENA partners is the following. I noticed a message from Karim in chat. So all our MENA partners, they still manage to take big, fruitful projects. But when it comes to its implementation, here is a difficulties arise as lots of countries are having the curfews, and our partners, they simply cannot send their installers to a client. So all I can say right now is that all of ours and our partners' decisions will determine the vector of the business development in the future. By the way, Zelalem, what's about Ethiopia? Is the situation similar there? You briefly described the situation in Ethiopia, but do you still manage to get any projects, some projects or some major clients maybe?
Yes, as I mentioned earlier, most of our customers also applying social distancing, so you don't see them as we used to in their office. So they're working remotely, and we reached out to all our potential customers, and that's how we are working side by side with them, developing opportunities, as well as also continue to support their needs with some installations, troubleshooting. So we're trying our best. One thing also that we did is rather than having our technical team in the office, we are now deploying them at the customer site on a rotating basis. So when there is a need, they can respond directly. The customer knows who to call, but we all also work as a team. So we'll continue to operate. And as I said, we're going to use this downtime as an opportunity to build business.
Thank you.
Thank you, Zelalem, for your opinion. And Ashraf, what are the regulations in Tanzania and how do they influence the business development in your case?
So when we're looking at trends right now in Tanzania or regulations in Tanzania, with the current pandemic situation, there is some uplifting that has been done, especially on industries that are related directly to fight the pandemic, when I speak of Tanzania itself. So two areas that I see as industry sectors which will be growing, and we're also looking to tap into those at a broader scale, are manufacturing and agriculture. Being the food basket of East SADC region, it means there's a lot of need now for precision farming. There's a lot of need for having visibility to be able to create agricultural impact faster. So we see opportunities coming up on those fronts. There's of course opportunities in the manufacturing. With exports and imports slowing down, we need to start doing manufacturing within the country. Working around the footprint that we have, which is Tanzania, Kenya, Zambia, Malawi, and Ivory Coast, the upcoming trends that we have seen is into delivery services. So there's a high rise right now, different kind of businesses, especially the ones in food, goods, supplies and services where people need to have delivery done. So there's a lot of upcoming business in that area. But we've also seen there's a need for remote monitoring. As now people are working from home, they need to have eyes and be able to see what is happening on remote sites. And this could be like telco towers, this could be commercial buildings with generators and all that. But again, also people tracing, which I see Gurtam is working hard to be able to deploy apps around those. So coming back to Tanzania, in terms of regulations, there are some uplifting that are getting done. There's not much per se to support any new initiatives, but there's a lot of open room, and you see a lot of innovators trying to work around how to be able to assist with the current ongoing situation. Yeah.
Thank you a lot, Ashraf. Thanks for your opinion. And also, dear guests, thanks for being so active today. Just would like to get back a little bit to the previous question, as we've got some interesting responses regarding what to cut, what to save, and what to sacrifice. For example, our partner from Egypt, Karim, has shared on the chat that they're forced to cut down their marketing resources, and they have made the decision to invest more into development of VIA-TAC related projects. Good luck on that, and hope Gurtam will be a part of your success story. And Peter, our partner from Lebanon, shares that they're able to keep their people and to use this time vastly to revamp the internal processes. Thanks for sharing all your stories. And here we come to our favorite part. We've been talking a lot about the situation in general, but what did you manage to accomplish during these months? Practical cases of flipping the situation to your advantage. So Zelalem, how did this situation open the new doors for you?
Zelalem, turn on the mic.
I did not turn it off. Let me see.
It's okay.
How about now? Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's okay. Just go on.
I think one of the outcome that I see now is the personal productivity, because social distancing is an issue. Because of that, since they are not together the way we used to, so the personal productivity, whatever they are, is now more focused on. We are now assigning specific assignments to each team, as well as also focusing on the customer. So with that in mind, I see the team is a lot more motivated. They understand the situation. On the other hand, also transportation, especially public transportation, is almost cut in half now. So that's a little bit, a challenge. But however, the government engaged aggressively, almost on a daily basis, educating the public, as well as also putting together, sound guidelines, how to manage the situation. And I see also other opportunities that I see. For example, if you look now, the textile industry in Ethiopia is probably one of the growing area in Africa. And that textile industry now converting itself into producing masks and all others, not only for the local need, as well as also exporting it to overseas. So the movements of trucks will continue to be there. So we are working hard to meet that demand in providing our solutions.
Thank you, Zelalem. Thank you for your input. And Ashraf, could you please share some cases of flipping the situation to your advantage?
So two cases that I can narrate on. One is about operational benefits that we have seen with the working from home. I've already spoken about that we had to quickly flip the team and be able to mobilize them to collaborate online. And what that brought to us is, in a very short period of time, in a 1 week's period of time, we were fully online, and we've been sustaining it already for almost 3 weeks right now. So that really worked out great for us. Working from home, of course, increased productivity. People are spending more time. We had a fear initially, personally, I had a fear that working from home, we won't be able to see performance going up, but actually performance has remained at par. The teams are communicating very well. So that was a very quick decision that we had to make, and we were able to turn around without hampering our customer satisfaction or service delivery. The second part was the sales tactical shift that they did. Apart from just going on honing onto the same businesses which are collapsing, they immediately started looking into, like, for example, delivery services. And they started seeing a new prime business coming out where owners are putting in their bikes and cars, which now no longer can do Uber business, into starting doing delivery or moving people around. Like now you have to cut down the number of people on public transport. So people are using what you have already had in the Europe of rideshare. The concept is starting here. But we don't have an application already run for that. So the best way is people are putting in buses and smaller cars, and they need tracking for it. So that is a new upcoming line that we managed to pick onto it, and we're pushing to look into that, apart from the other ones that I discussed on. So yeah, work from home and new trends in the business.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for sharing these stories with us, Ashraf. And Valeriya, what about you?
I would agree both with Zelalem and Ashraf. As we sent the whole team working from home, and we were thinking of the influence of the remote work on our team, whether the performance of the team will decrease, how it will the efficiency decrease as well. So there was different thoughts in our head, but what was surprising, not for me, because my team, my Middle East team, we were working remotely because we are far from each other, but what was surprising for the whole international business development center, that the efficiency of the whole team increased. Like I would not afraid to say twice, because all of my colleagues, they're very self-determined people, and they showed the empathy. They got all together for reaching the targets, because the times are turbulent and we cannot stand aside and sitting still. We need to do something, and it warms my heart when I see that how our teams are generating brilliant ideas and how fast we managed to implement this idea. Getting back to the question of flipping the situation to our advantage, I would say that we didn't aim to flip it to an advantage and get any extra profit out of it. What we do aim is to help our partners to sustain their business and to give our partners additional tools which will help them to flip the situation to their advantage. FLESP Alliance, unit freezing options, unit migration offer, which was sent to you already. Dear partners, if you didn't receive by any case this offer, feel free to contact our sales team. We have something interesting to offer you. And of course, the mobile applications developments. There is something more I would like to add on. Some of you may know that we decided to allow our partners to pass wialon certification with no more limits. Previously, there were limitations in terms of the number of technical specialists to pass the certification. One person from one company could take the certification test for free. Now we're glad to cut these limits off and to offer you and your technical staff the possibility to take this test for free. According to the statistics, for the last 2 weeks, 130 people have already registered for the certification and 70 people have already passed it, which is awesome.
Yes, so please, dear partners, don't hesitate to pass the certification and to advise your technical specialist to pass it. It's a great opportunity to use right now. And also, we've got one more interesting story from Miriam regarding the third question regarding trends and tendencies. So Miriam shares that they see increased opportunities in medicine and pharmaceutical fields. And in fact, that's the tendencies that was identified and discussed on the very first Gurtam meetup that was held 2 weeks ago. So, sorry, 2 weeks ago. So that's obviously an internal tendency and an international tendency. And moreover, our partner from Italy, David, shared that they are working on a VIATAC related project in Italy for social distancing already. So thank you, dear guests, for sharing your stories with us. In general, I would like to thank all our participants, our speakers and visitors for being here with us. So we hope our meetup was useful for you to take the experience of our partners from different regions, and hope it also shed more light for all about the situation from the Gurtam side. I also encourage you to continue the discussion in our partners chat and on our forum. So thank you once again for all our speakers and guests for sharing your opinions, stories, and inputs. We consider it's always important to be in touch, to support and motivate each other. So no one should stay alone, and let's stay strong and please stay safe. Here also I would like to mention that Gurtam Meetups is an ongoing story. So please stay tuned and check our blog and your email inbox. Also, right after the meetup, you will get a quick questionnaire. So please feel free to mention the ideas and topics you would like to discuss further. Thank you very much for being here with us. It was nice to talk to you, to know more about your personal stories, some particular cases. Have a nice evening and have a nice day ahead.
Thank you very much, Zelalem, Ashraf. Thank you very much, dear attendees. I see all your messages, and I would like to address them all. Mr. Samir, you're welcome for the certification. I know how many of your people you have already certified. It's a very good job indeed. So thank you very much, and of course stay tuned because soon we will have a new piece of news to share with you.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Good.
Bye.